G'day. So what we're doing today is a banana circle, and this is the start. So this is a hole, I don't know what, 1.5 metre by maybe about 800 or 900. Metre would be good, but it was 35 degrees yesterday and I got a little bit tired. Yeah. Jump in just for scale. Yeah. And so all I've done is dug the hole and piled the dirt up around the outside, like so, a little berm. So this is going to be our feeding chamber for the bananas, and also it's going to be a place where we create compost. So here's one that's a little bit further along. I've already put the 3 bananas in there, and you can have these as big or as small as you like. For one banana, one hole next to it that regularly gets filled with organic matter, scraps out of the house, yeah, anything really. But we're out here on a little bit of property, so this one's going to be a little bit bigger. I've got some palm leaves in there, and right in the bottom the grassy stuff is out of the chook pen, so we've got some straw and chook manure just to kick off that composting down the bottom to get the worms in. And if you've already got an established worm farm, you can add a handful of worms to the bottom of your pit, and yeah, they'll eat up the organic matter. So I'm going to fill this with organic matter, and I'll take some photos as I go, but this is just a little bit of a description on how I start. And bananas are very easy to grow, and if you're in a subtropical or tropical area, and even sometimes in the temperate, if you don't get frosts on the coast, if you feed them well enough, they will power, and within about 18 months these guys will be dropping fruit. They'll be flowering and we'll have bunches of bananas on them if they're fed well. These are going to spawn or shoot off children, so they'll come off the side, and as one flowers and fruits, we chop that down, we throw it into the hole. Closed loop system, so this is the bananas feeding off the grandmother, because the one that's flowering is the grandmother, and ideally on each plant we want 3 shoots, a grandmother, a mother and a daughter. And more will come off, but as they come off you can take them off and move them and build new banana circles. So anyways, just a bit of a description on how we're going. There's going to be some tips on how to grow in these tropical, subtropical areas. I think people are a bit confused about how you may become self-sustainable in a situation where food becomes scarce. This is a great start. It's about 18 months away from food, but it's a good start. I'll just show you another couple of things that I've popped in here. This guy here is probably one of the first things you should get down. You can get tubers off the cassava plant in about 6 months, depending on quality of water and soil. But the soil here is pretty soft. We're in a tropical area. Just do some research on how to prepare cassava, because it can have some nasty effects if it's not prepared properly. So this is the next one that I plant. This is cocoa yam, and so all of these plants are very easily propagated. So when this guy gets up a little bit bigger, it'll start shooting off. Little babies will come off the side, and you can just pop them out and move them to another location and start the process again. But this guy will produce yams under the ground. Not quite as big as the cassava root, but yeah, great source of carbohydrates and nutrition. So these are our rhizosphere plants. There's another one down here that's very easy to grow around here, and this is it. These subtropical and tropical areas. This one's Queensland arrowroot, and so these are your starchy potato type veg. And this one again, these are very hardy plants too, so don't need a huge amount of water. They'll thrive if they get it, but in dry periods they'll do quite well. So it's arrowroot, cassava and cocoa yam, banana. So these are the things I kick off with. There's some other stuff that I did plant down here. I just saw one before. This little guy here is a pigeon pea. And probably, if you can get your hands on them, moringa. Moringa is probably the first thing that you should grow, and that can be eaten daily in its raw form or cooked. Yeah. So we'll do some vids on this as these guys start to take off, and we'll have some info about propagation and stuff like this. These are all readily available. Cocoa yam, cassava and Queensland arrowroot. And just for how well things grow here, this is a miracle berry tree, loaded. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough for now. Got to get back to work, finish those circles off.